Mic check 1 2 1 2. Mic check 1 2 1 2. Good morning. Good morning. I'm Alan Williams Jr. And big shout out to you. Big shout out to you for joining me this morning. Listen, go ahead, give it up for yourself because we are about to lock in this morning. That's right. Whether you intentionally, logged on here, you jumped on here intentionally, you had your alarm set, you were ready for it, or whether you stumbled over the video or somebody might have even sent it to you, gave you a heads up to join Mastering Monday today. But listen, guys, we're about to lock in. We're about to lock in this morning. Some people might be in transit to work. Some people might be preparing to leave the house. Some people might have the day off. Whatever the case is, I want you to take these next few minutes and I want you to lock in with me this morning, right? I want you to lock in. So, guys, I'm your host of Mastering Monday, and I've missed you. I've missed you, but I'm so excited about this season of Mastering Monday. I'm so excited about what we're doing here at the Daniel Center of Leadership. You see it. You see it. I'm so excited about it. There'll be more insight, more information coming on, things that will be available to you. But guys, this morning, I have the opportunity to come and to share what I feel like is a timely message. That's right. And I'm not going to be before you long. I'm not going to be before you long because I understand. Listen, you got things to do. I understand. The attention span is short. So what I want to do is I want to get right to it. Listen, our founder of the Daniel Center of Leadership, Mr. Marcus D. Benjamin, he came on and he did a segment, a 2-day sprint on Before 24. And it was amazing. If you haven't seen it, make sure you go to YouTube, log on to YouTube, check it out. But it was amazing. But one of the things that he talked about is something that I want to zero in today. And that was the importance of showing up. See, he showed a graphic and it showed the people that persist, the people that simply show up day in and day out, and they're consistent through the challenges of life. They're consistent through the things that they face. They make a goal, they set an objective, and they stick to it. It's one thing to commit to a goal, but it's another thing to submit yourself to a goal. Listen, when I submit myself to something, that means no matter what the situation is, no matter what the weather is outside, no matter what emotions I'm facing, no matter what challenges, long as it isn't a matter of life and death, listen, I'm going to submit myself to that goal. And that's what I want to talk about today, the power of showing up. See, listen, we set goals, we set objectives, we set out to do things, right? I do, myself personally. I know you do. You can relate with me, right? I know there were times in my career, there were times in my life where I was like, man, I need to be at this particular place by this particular time, right? It could be, in my career, I wanted to be in management. I wanted to have a team, but not just simply a team. I wanted to be a standout in the state, right? I wanted to be a standout manager. I was already the youngest manager in my institution. I was already one of the youngest managers, my apologies, but I was already the youngest male manager. And then on top of that, the youngest African American. So I already had some things, that were kind of going for me in regards to being the first in some areas. But guys, I wanted to stand out. I wanted to simply, when I got the opportunity, I wanted to take hold of it and take advantage of it, right? But how many of you know when I set out to do that, there were so many challenges. There were so many things that I faced, and I had to get to a place where I wasn't just going off of what my results were. I wasn't just waking up every day and like, man, if this person, acknowledges my work, then I know that I'm on the right track. No, it was time out for that. I had to show up day in and day out, whether they were like, hey, Alan, great job or not, whether I made the right decision that day or not, whether I dropped the ball or not, whether I was feeling up to it or not. Listen, and that's what I want to tell you today. That's what I want to zero in on this Master Monday is you have to have the ability and the mentality to show up. Just show up. Those 2 words right there can transform your life in 6 months. Listen, I'm not a cliche influencer on social media or anything like that, but I'm telling you what I know. Those 2 words, show up in spite of whatever difficulty you're facing. Listen, if you set the goal, you set the objective, there's a reason for that. It's not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy. That was never promised to us that it would be easy. But you set the goal for a reason. Lock into that purpose and show up. I want to share something with you before we leave. I want to share something today. This is something that I wrote down, and I want to make sure you drop it in the comments. If you haven't shared the broadcast yet, share the broadcast. Don't be stingy. Don't be stingy. Share the broadcast. There's more to go out, right? Right. But let somebody know you're watching Master Monday. I appreciate that. Us, the team at the Daniel Center, we appreciate that. Get the message out. Spread it out. But take a moment to share. Take a moment to share. And listen, I wrote this. So show up wherever you are. Be there mentally and physically. We have to develop the discipline of keeping your mind present in the moment. And that reminds me of a scripture in 1 Samuel. 1 Samuel 16:20 said, "And David rose up early in the morning and left the sheep with the keeper, and took and went as Jesse had commanded him to do. And he came to the trench as the host was going forth to the fight, and shouted for the battle." I want to zero in on that scripture because we know the passage about David. We know the passage about David and Goliath. But I want to zero in on something before we leave Master Monday. Listen, David was showing up. That's how David took advantage of the opportunity. David changed the trajectory not only of his life, but so many others, because he did those two words. He showed up. I want to leave you on Master Monday today with those two words. Show up today. Show up this week. I want you to plan not only what you're going to do in 2024, but I want you to plan how you're going to show up in 2024. Listen, I'm Alan Williams Jr. I'm your host. I'm going to see you right back here next Monday morning at 7:30 a.m. Join me on Master Monday.